How about a Badger update before I talk? Uh, so he's a little over a year old. He's a big bruiser at 13 pounds. Someone found him and his sibling, like in the middle of the woods, obviously kind of abandoned. And so they got them, brought them to a vet and dropped them off, right? And, well, it became kind of obvious why they were abandoned. They had multiple health issues. So anyway, a couple of people kind of took an interest in them. My daughter wanted, like this one a lot. And the other one was going to go somewhere else. But they took turns, like, taking care of it. They would come home for a little while, then go back to the doctors, so they got all kinds of medical things done to them. But you can see, he's certainly a healthy cat. He has a neurological tick, though. Sometimes he'll put his arm out and or like some type of thing neurologically. But other than that, he's pretty good. Cats all have personalities, which is kind of funny. We haven't had a pet cat for ages. I mean, we had one in the past when the kids were all here or younger, and they're just different. This cat jumps. He jumps a long distance too. Now he's a little bit older, a year old, and he's a little heavier. He doesn't jump as far or as often, but he still does it. You can be sitting, today I'm opening the refrigerator door, so my back is to the couch. Well, he's on the arm of the couch, so he easily just ends up on the back. And unfortunately, because my daughter's on a cross-country trip, his nails are long. And when he jumps on you, you want to have something else on rather than just a plain shirt. But he's a pretty good animal. We like him. He loves getting his back rubbed. I don't know, while I'm talking he'll do it, but he'll scrunch his little eyes all up, and he'll be like, "Oh, this feels so good," does it? And sometimes he'll even give me a nose bump where he purposely hits my nose with his nose. And that's supposed to be a sign of affection, I guess. And but there he is, Badger the cat. Now, what I was really going to talk about is ghost jobs. I'm reading this thing, I'm finding it hard to believe about ghost jobs. Here we're in this situation, and we pass a pandemic, all kinds of horrible inflation. Like in my area, you've got to pay people like $16 an hour minimum to get them to show up anywhere for work. And so it's almost like, you're going to be closer to $20 an hour if you want to have just even a little bit of selectivity over who you hire. And all of these signs, them needing people, and there's ads and everything, will come to find out. I'm reading this article that says 30 to 70% of the jobs that are being advertised don't exist. So why would they spend money on advertising if they had no intent of actually hiring people? Well, it's good research for them. If they were, let's just say, this guy's a carpentry company and he wants to expand, and he knows he'll have to hire bricklayers because they're doing this brick building. Instead of mostly wood, it's going to be mostly brick or something. And so, he puts the ads out there to see how many people he could potentially get if he later decides to do this. So there might have been a job maybe in the future, but not right then. And probably none of the people are going to actually get called in for an interview. And they were saying this is happening in a lot of jobs. And just advertising for a job opening makes it look like your company is on the ball, like we need more people. We're doing so well, we need more people. And sometimes that isn't the case at all. I've heard before of employers running ads to see which one of their employees are disloyal to the company. You know, if you had a specialized job, say you were, he's going to take a jump here in a minute. If you had a specialized job, they might put an ad in the paper for that, or now online, not on paper, but that was my old age showing. And then your name comes up. They know that you're gonna jump ship. And you know, maybe the guy next to you doing the job isn't gonna, so you automatically become less valuable because you answered that ad. But it was saying too, of course, it messes up the whole perception of, is unemployment low or is it high? You know, you see all these signs, you see what they say on the, you know, in the news reports, but then actually other people that are working with people trying to find jobs, evidently a lot of people are getting frustrated because they can't get a job. And so, oh, there he goes. He only lasts so long, especially if I stop patting him. But, you know, it's just crazy that people looking, you would think if you see signs out everywhere that someone could just walk in and get a job. You know, now maybe that's true for the really bottom level jobs, you know, which are still, like I say, paying $16 to $20 an hour. But once you go up a little, maybe those jobs are really hard to find. Maybe there aren't that many people. Maybe, again, they're doing these ghost ads as a form of research or finding out, you know, wouldn't it be interesting if you, let's again say you're this carpentry company and you start putting ads in for carpenters and you see that a lot of the people applying are from your competitor. That might tell you that the people aren't happy there. That could affect what you want to do later in the future. But just kind of interesting. So, but it was saying that people are having trouble finding jobs, even in this environment where it appears no one can get help. Now, I know in the medical field, at least, you know, going to the clinics and things I go to, they're attached to a hospital here, and they never have enough people. They don't have enough people. You call in on a machine, you know, to get a prescription, or you do this or you do that, and it's a lot of times something sits while it's waiting for someone to deal with it. An actual human being has to sign off on it somewhere, and that can take a while. And you know, it would seem to me that there aren't enough doctors. And if you're a doctor too and you're good, you get in some place and all of a sudden you have all kinds of mobility. You could go this way, go to a different area at the same level, or you can go up. One of the doctors I had that I liked, she's gone over to a teaching position. The doctor my wife likes, that goes to, suddenly they've got promoted, so they're going to run, and at least in this area, all of the clinics, rather than dealing with individual patients. But it's just kind of bizarre when you start to see that happening. And so in the medical field, I think there really is a shortage. I know my doctor went out because she was pregnancy. It was getting near the time, right? And, oh, she's coming back. Well, she never came back. And she's working somewhere else now. And I found out that the network that I'm using, they had this requirement for a COVID shot that she had to take. And when I don't know exactly what time period it was, but she didn't want to take it because either she was pregnant or she's got this, new baby. And she did not want to do it. So she just left that career and got a job somewhere else. And it's like I say, with certain careers, you can just go somewhere and bam, you're going to make, gobs of money. But for the average person, I don't know. We know now we have too many people with college degrees for the number of jobs that are out there. And I'm sure in high school they're still telling people, oh no, you got to get this degree, you got to get to the best school, blah blah blah, and that isn't necessarily true. I mean, you only have to listen to Mike Grove, who did Dirty Jobs. He's got some different internet things on, but if you search for him, he talks a lot about how we've neglected the trades, and how it's come back to bite us. And now we're in a situation where these people go, they go to a top level school. They got like as much money to pay back as buying a house almost, and they go out and they're getting like $3 more an hour than the person next to them, which is really nothing, and isn't gonna pay those bills for a long, long time. But someone who goes to a trade school, does apprentice, he's a plumber, electrician, or something like that, they're sitting pretty. Anything they had, they paid off long ago, and they're still bringing in a really good income. So it's kind of crazy. It's all this idea of what people tell you and what really is. They can be vastly different, as we found out so often. But tell me what you think. Have you ever applied for a job that didn't exist? I guess I don't know how you know that unless you were called in for an interview and they actually said, well, we weren't really going to hire you. We just wanted to talk to you. But that usually isn't going to happen. But if you've been qualified for a certain position in a company and you put your resume in there several times, or other people who have, and none of them got hired, that would be interesting to find out. Have we created this kind of odd landscape where we're claiming that unemployment is low, but in actuality it's really high? There are X number of people who have gone off the rolls of unemployment and have just found some other way to scrape by. And unfortunately, a lot of people, you get, in the situation of where you make money and where you have none, in between there can be a zone where you don't have to work much, but you can still survive. You won't survive very well, but you'll survive. And so, gee, you look at that down here as opposed to being up here. You're at a high-level job, you got pressures, you got things you got to do. Well, maybe I'll stay down here. I don't know. That's the only explanation I can think of. I mean, where have some of the employees gone that were high level, the doctors, the nurses, and different things like that? I think some of them have just said, I'm going back home. I'm going to sit this out for a while. But tell me what you think. Bye.